Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show.
All right, paid off another credit card last night. Cool feeling. And now, you know what? I actually didn't even update it. So let's go do that real quick. That's always exciting. Hold on. Let's pull this down here. I almost started recording the show without the mic plugged in. And that would have sucked ass, huh? I don't care about the quality. You know, I've talked about that 1.5 million times. But if I have it and it's in front of my face and I'm talking to it, I may as well get the quality that it provides, right? Anyway, let's see. Let's go here. Let's update. So it was the lowest credit card that I have left, but nonetheless, it is paid off. So I have 2 credit cards left, and we're all paid off. I have 15 total, and that has just accumulated over, probably ever since I was 16, so 12 years. And I don't know if I've talked about this directly related to credit cards because the 15 is a lot, you know. Let's see something actually. How many credit cards does the average American have? It's gonna say some shit like 5. It says 3 to 4. I've got 15. And the reason that I have so many is largely in part to the fact that, is that how you say it? I don't know. Whatever. The reason why I have so many is because I just believe that it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And moving around all the time, because I moved, let me count really quick. So since 2020, I've moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the end of 2021 is when I moved. So I moved 8 times. And anyway, so everything that I was doing, I just thought it was much better to have and not need it than to need it and not have it. So periodically I would just apply for a credit card and then just put one thing on it, and that's it. That's why I've got so many. And that has not hurt me at all. If you ask me, that's not hurt me at all. It's only benefited me. And you could say that I paid a lot of interest. A lot of these things I think there's like 5 cards I've never even put a purchase on because I don't need to. I have the funds if I need it. So, yeah. And it's been beneficial to me. I mean, this is coming from the guy who doesn't give a fuck about a credit score, who doesn't want to save for retirement, who doesn't want to retire, period, who, you know, that's coming from this guy. So take that with a grain of salt. But that's, yeah. So anyway, I've got 2 cards remaining, which is very cool because I think when I started this, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I started this, I had, I think, 8. No, I talked about this. I think I had 10 because I was like, I have 5 that are done, 10 that need to be paid off. I don't know what it was. We'll call it 8. It's right in the middle. So I had 8. Now I only have 2, and that's a good feeling. So with every time that I pay something off, it frees up monthly revenue. So, you know, the one that I paid off last night was $1,100. So, you know, the way that I literally see this in my head is I just paid for 44 months up front because the payment was $25. So $25 times that by 44. Pretty sure that's 1,100. Because 100 has 4 quarters. Yeah, 44. So, wait, is that right? Yeah, 40 times 25. Yeah, 100%. Wait, what, bro? 4. Why can I not do that? No, that's 100% right. Dude, I do that shit all the time. I'll calculate something, and then I'm like, no, that's not correct. But I got the answer correct so quickly. How did I do that? And now I'm second guessing myself. I don't know. For some reason, I can't check that in my head right now. 44. I was right. Dude, I don't know. Whatever, dude. So paid that off. And so in my head, it's like I paid 44 months in advance. When I think about it that way, I feel like I shouldn't have ever paid it off because it wasn't $25 a month, not a huge deal. Of course, that frees everything up, and that's great. I'm getting texts from Mina right now. It's crazy. It's pretty late for him. Anyway, okay. So that's how I see it in my head. $25 paid up front for 44 months because that's how long it would have taken me. I know there's interest, so it probably would have been longer, but whatever. So that's all paid off, so that's cool. So the only ones that I have left are one that's about $2,200 and one that is about $4,800. So that right there is about, let's see, I think this calculation's wrong. It says 7,100. That's not correct. 2,000. Oh, that is correct. Yeah. 22 and then 48. That is, what's going on in my head tonight? So I have that, and then I've got the loan. And the loan is probably going to come next because it is going to save me the most per month. Because I have to pay off $2,900, and it's going to save me $200 a month, which it's great. The reason why I did this credit card yesterday is because the way that I have my income for the remainder of this month, it wouldn't have mattered if I paid this credit card off last night or not, because the amount of money that I would have at the end of this month would be enough to do the card and the loan. And so I can't do the loan right now. So I may as well do the card, because when I'm able to do both, I can do one or the other, whatever. So the end of this month, so about 2 more weeks, I'll be able to pay off the last one. I'll be able to pay off. Wait, no, that's not correct. Yes, it is. I'll be able to pay off the loan. Yeah, that's correct. I was looking at this so wrong. It's so weird. Yeah, I'll be able to pay it off, and then I will have freed up $200. Yeah, whatever. So I'm just really looking at everything right now, and I'm just trying to make sure everything's good. Anyway, so that's exciting. It feels good to pay it off. It's something I look forward to, and I'd like to think that I'm just setting myself up right now, because if anything, the extra money that I get from my job, that kind of just goes to paying off a little bit of debt, because, well, I guess it all does, huh? If I'm thinking about it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So because I took advantage of that opportunity, and because I took advantage of the opportunity with Mina and Brian and Trey and Dawson, I'm able to pay off some debt, dude. So cool feeling. I know I've talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to dive too much into it, but we've got, at the time of this recording, I've got 2 student loans, 2 credit cards, a normal loan, and then a car loan. And that's it. That's all I've got. If you would have asked me that 4 months ago, I would have said damn near 10 credit cards, a loan, car loan, 2 student loans. Sure, there's another one. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I guess I'm paying for PT down. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, so I feel like I'm all spacey, dude, today. Today's been a weird one. So I woke up, killed it, was on fire, got so much done. And rather than, so currently my schedule is wake up and then I work on my own shit first thing in the morning. So from 5:30 till 8. And that's just, I love that. So that's great. It's going to stay. But rather than going straight into working for Mina, I actually got up and just went to the gym. So rather than working for Mina at 8 a.m., I went to the gym at 8 a.m. I went to the gym, and for one, it was fun because I could drive my car, big fan, and drove out of my way to go to a gym that's kind of further away from me, just so I could drive more. It's a nice gym, and so I went there, had a good workout, and then came home. By the time I got home, I think it was close to 10. So then I just got right back into work, had a little snack, and worked for Mina up until about 2:30. I think it was about 3 o'clock, actually. No, it was 2:30. And then I went down and ate some food. And then I resumed working from 3 till about an hour ago. I kind of been sitting on my air mattress for the last hour, not doing a goddamn thing. But the time is reserved for this podcast, so I didn't feel like I was dicking off too bad. But anyway, that's been my day today. But I don't know. I just feel like I killed it this morning, and then I don't know, just like midday, I was like, oh, fuck this, and just didn't want to do anything. It was really hard to get going, and just I didn't really like the lack of output that I had the last half of the day. It's like I'll sit down to work on something, and I'm just like, I have no idea what the fuck to do. And I noticed that every time that I resume working on something that I wasn't previously working on. So that just kind of, to double down on the point that I think if I just had one thing to work on rather than multiple, I think I would just be better off in all regard. And I really have been thinking about that more seriously. Like I really gotta just, I don't know. It's tricky because I've got some really good ties, especially with Dawson, but Mina especially. Trey, I'm not really sure, but they're all in the MDM, so they all have the same contacts. But I really just think about, what if I just didn't work for them, and then I got this up and running in the next 2 weeks, because that's all I had to do. That'd be something. Because if I just worked for Mina and for Brian, technically that's full-time work, because it's 40 hours a week right there between those, just Mina and just Brian. So at 2.5 hours a day for Brian every day. So average, that would be about 20 hours a week. Because 2.5 hours a day is almost 80. So a couple extra days in the month, call it 20 hours a week. And then if I'm working 19 hours a week for Mina at the moment, it's probably going to go back down to 14. But that is 40 hours. And if you combine the two, that's 4,098, which is enough for me to survive. And even when rent goes down and some things are split, when I move in with Lexi, that'll be even better. But even if they stayed the same, I would still be fine. So I do think about that a lot, because today I spent the morning working on my own shit, and then I spent the stuff working with Mina kind of on a similar project. I had a better idea of what to do, what I was working on, where to go, all this stuff. And then I had the little midday break when ate food, came back upstairs, and then I started working for Dawson. And I ended up finishing the project that I was working on for him and started on the other thing. But it took me a minute to figure out what I was even doing when I left off, because last time I worked on this was Saturday. And that's just been the biggest dilemma for sure. First of all, it's like starting work when I don't want to. Second of all is starting work when I don't want to. And also, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what I'm trying to work on. I don't even know what things do. That's a problem, So I'm just,
I think from this point forward, what I really need to do is map out, like honestly, just like on Sundays or something like that, just maybe in some of my own project time, just map out as much as I can of what I'm going to do on which days and do my best to stick to it. Because as well, first of all, I think the likelihood that I stick to it is fair, because sometimes things take much longer than anticipated. Other things are much quicker. But, you know, I'm working on this sales and leads tracker, form, log, whatever you want to call it. And it's badass for sure. It's going to capture so much data, and it's so simple. There's just a few buttons you click, send them a DM. Once you do that, they kind of disappear for the list for a little bit, and then sent a link and then booked a call. That's it. There's 3 buttons. And then if they haven't responded, you click ghosted. Then when you schedule a call, you're going to have a drop down of no show, cancel, ghosted, reschedule, all that stuff. Talked about it yesterday. Then they go to their own list of these outcomes, so we can focus on which leads got which outcome and then handle each one accordingly, but also track that data. So when they do sign up, hopefully they all do, but you know, reality is that a few might. We can track that and then compare that to the lifetime of the client, and then compare that to like the progress, how they did, you know, so we can see, okay, clients who have a no call, no show or whatever end up being shitty clients. And it's evident because we have 12 clients in the last year who their first call was no show or shitty client. So that's the kind of data that I'm trying to extract and trying to get out of all this, and trying to think about the variables that go into that, and then the logic that has to flow in order for things to be captured, you know. It's just just thinking through it, it's just frustrating. And I've run this through ChatGPT, and I'm like, hey, this is what I need to do. I need this result. What do I need to do? And maybe my prompts are shitty, but what it gives back to me, I'm just like, no, you don't get it, bro. And so for that reason, I don't really use AI for strategy, because what it's telling me to do, it doesn't translate into building it in Notion. And that's a really frustrating thing, because I mean, I can't expect it to know everything, but when I do ask it something related to Notion, I would say 30% of the time, it just gives me some horse shit. And I have to say, hey, that doesn't exist, or hey, that doesn't work that way. Or I'll send a screenshot of the error and it's like, oh, right, that doesn't work. It's not supported in Notion. It'll tell me some formula shit, or it'll tell me, click on this button and click on filter by this. And I'm like, that's not even a fucking thing, bro. And so part of me is kind of disenchanted by that whole thing, because it's like, well, I don't even want to ask it anything because it's just going to give me bullshit. I want to get frustrated. So what do I do? So I have this great, powerful AI tool at my hand, but it's just, I feel like for this specific thing, it's just not the best tool. It's very great at generating formulas when I tell it what to do. If it starts being a piece of shit, then I swap from ChatGPT to Claude, and it seems to work great. Claude seems to be better with those things for some reason. I don't know. And I haven't really used any other AIs other than these two for any type of work. I used Gemini for a minute, and I was so irritated immediately that I haven't even tried it, given it a fair shot. But it's gives some answers really shittily, and wasn't a fan. Not to mention it's ingrained with Google Photos when you search for photos. And before, it was great. You just search for photo, pop up, and almost exactly what you wanted. Now it's like, I think you meant blah, blah, blah. Here's photos it's like, bro, it's not what I meant. You know, bring back the old shit. That's why I got Google Photos, to be honest. So anyway, but yeah, I'm working on the sales and leads thing. It's fucking sick. I'm trying to polish it off. And in doing so, I was like, oh, well, this could absolutely automatically track data daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. And in order to do that, what I have to do is make a formula that looks at the date that the action happened. So if somebody sent a message, that gets submitted with a date. If that date is today, it counts it for today. Well, first of all, it counts it, period, because it's an action that is that. And then we have it count if it happened today. which it'll populate a number 1 to count 1 if it happened today. And at the end of today, it'll automatically submit into a database. So that way tomorrow it'll say 0 because the date that it happened is yesterday, and that date is not the same as today. So it'll show 0. But I have one that is for week. So if something happens on a Wednesday, then it looks at the time frame of the date, which is Sunday to Saturday. If the date that it happened is in those parameters, then it counts it. If it's not, then it doesn't. Then at the end of every week, it'll automatically submit. And then rinse and repeat for monthly, rinse and repeat for quarter 1, rinse and repeat for quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. All of that for just one metric, right? So, we've got booked call, sent message, sent link, sent reminder. The result of the call was showed but not interested, showed not qualified, showed no sale, showed got a deposit, rescheduled, ghosted, canceled, no show. Ghosted, I would say, would be we sent reminders, nothing happened, they didn't even, that's different from a no show if you ask me. And I put all these things through ChatGPT, and I'm like, hey, give me as many outcomes or actions that you would take if you're working in leads or sales or whatever. And it gave me a whole bunch of horse shit, and I was like, okay, I think I got them all, because I pretty much have to make 8 properties with 8 formulas to track one thing. And we've got 13 different things. So 13 times 7, that's how many properties I have to make for this. That's not counting anything else that I have to showcase the data and showcase the percentages and the charts and all that shit. So like I was saying, I was polishing this up and I was feeling like I was close to being finished. And then I was like, oh, I know how to make this badass, so now I have to, and now it's going to take me another day or 2. But the beauty in that is that I know exactly what I need to do, and I wrote a list. So going off of what I said earlier, I wrote a list of everything that I needed to do in order to get what I believe this thing to be up and running, sooner than later for this specific project. And so I just wrote some notes, and I think if I did that, like I'm just looking at these notes and I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly where to pick up. And so like I was saying earlier, if I were to just map out, maybe even at the start of the day, or maybe the night before, so that I wake up the next morning, I know what I'm doing, of what I'm doing, I'm sure that would be a great benefit. And it just comes down to having the discipline to sit there and spend an hour just mapping out what I'm going to do. Because if I can take an hour to map out what I'm going to do for the next day, even though I quote lose an hour, if the rest of the time in my day is much more productive and I get more done and I feel better, I think maybe that's worth it. I really struggle with the whole time management thing right now because I it's probably not good, the perspective or the mindset that I have around time as a whole right now. But like I haven't even done, so I did my laundry and all the clothes are in my room, but like it's hard for me to justify spending time on folding those clothes and putting the things away because it's like it doesn't change anything. Like whether, like this is me being me, but like whether or not the clothes are on the floor versus being hung up, the act of going to grab the piece of clothing to then put it on, it's the same. It doesn't save time putting it elsewhere. It takes more time to, make it nice, hang it up, fold it, whatever. Like I stopped mating my socks. Why the fuck am I mating socks? Like I just put all my socks into a drawer. I open up the drawer, I grab 2 of the same, put them on. And if they don't the same, who gives a fuck? Nobody sees them anyway. I do, and I don't give a shit. So same thing with underwear. I used to fold them and roll them or whatever. Now I just put them in a ball, throw them in my drawer. They go on my ball sack, dude. They don't need to be crisp and clean and folded, and I don't give a fuck. And nobody gives a fuck because I'm the only person who sees them. Why am I folding them, bro? Shirts are, they're different. I don't want to be all wrinkly because I want them to look nice. I don't want all linty and shit on them, but they're on my bed and they're just laying. They're all kind of like in a pile, ready to be hung. But like I look at that and I'm like, I don't want to spend the next 15 minutes doing laundry. I want to spend those 15 minutes getting ahead on this project. And laundry, I feel like is a bad example because I feel like it's a great example to illustrate that, we spend time on shit that we don't need to spend time on. At least that's my opinion. But with other things, like meal prep, for example, I think I'm done with that whole meal prep shit for now. In this phase of life that I'm in, which way that I can avoid doing anything to do with cooking or meal prep or anything like that, I'm good. I do not want to. I have no desire. All I want to do is get some easy to eat shit, stuff that's already, pre-made or cooked or whatever, or stuff that's so simple to prepare. And I mean toast, like nothing more than toast. If there's more to that, I'm good. I just won't eat. And I do think to a certain extent it is beneficial to not eat. It's kind of like a different form of intermittent fasting, right? Where kind of just rather than having set time schedules, it's like for example, I had a bowl of cereal an hour ago. If I don't eat until, tomorrow at, 11, that's a 14-hour fasting window. So, obviously I'm trying to go, if I was doing it, I'd probably go for 16 hours, but there's benefits for 14. But that's not me even trying. That's just me trying to be efficient with the time that I have and not getting, sounds funny to say it this way, but not getting distracted with food. Because if I get hungry, I then have to stop everything I'm doing, walk downstairs, grab food, eat it, lose the flow, the momentum, or whatever of whatever I'm working on, to then come back up, and then maybe it didn't sit well in my stomach, so now I don't feel well. So now that's a distraction. Maybe I actually don't feel well, and I have to use the bathroom, and I'm sitting there for maybe this is TMI, but I'm sitting there for 5 minutes, and I spend the next hour and a half wiping, because that's just what the fuck happens. And I hope some dude heard this and they can relate. It is the most frustrating thing, and I think it's a dude thing. I don't know. But I got dude wipes for that very reason, and it's much better, but I don't understand. My uncle one time, shout out Eric, said that it is like wiping or putting hot peanut butter in carpet and just trying to wipe it up. It's damn near impossible. So when he said hot peanut butter, I was like, what are you eating, bro? But the I think just peanut butter would be a better description, not hot. I think of runny shit, but runny literal shit. But anyway, neither here nor there. But, then, 3 hours go by and I'm like, I didn't get anything done. It's like I shouldn't have eaten. And I just have this weird relation now with time, because it's like I'll never have more than I have now, and I want to take advantage of it. I just need to get to that point where I fucking hate repeating myself like this, but I just need to get to that point where everything is done and I can start selling it, because that shifts all my attention from building and doing stuff in Notion to then advertising and marketing and social media again and developing that. And I'm excited for that, because I'm going to be posting about shit that I find interesting and that I think is cool. It's not going to be fitness stuff. It's going to be me being into numbers and data and analytics and systems and processes and showing people how to do stuff. I'm stoked for that, because when I had to make fitness content, bro, fuck me. I did not like that whatsoever. It was always a dread. I hated it so bad, and I even had some great camera equipment. I even had great editing software. I had experience in all of the above. Still just hated it, dude. Where's my brightness all the way up? What the fuck is going on? And yeah, I'm pretty stoked to make some stuff that's not about that. And I don't even know what I would make. Probably do some looms. So I don't know. I have no idea. But one of the coolest parts about all of this is that in order to survive, I need to make one sale a month. That's it. And I've got this pulled up, so I'm just going to run the calculation. But at $5,000 up front, $1,000 recurring, if that's all I did, in 1 year, I will have made $126,000. So that's just one sale per month, no more, no less, exactly one per month. Because the reason, I've talked about this, but the reason how that adds up, if it's $5,000 a month, $1,000 recurring, month one, it would only be $5,000. Month two, it would be $5,000 plus $1,000 from the last month. Month three, it would be $5,000 plus $2,000 from the last 2 months. And then when you add all that up, that's where we're at. So at the end of month two, it would be $11,000. End of month three, $18,000, then $26,000, $35,000, $45,000, $56,000. How does that even work? Whatever. $68,000, $81,000, $95,000, $110,000, $126,000. So just one sale a month. Just one. That's fucking cool. Now, if I were to go in half, that'd be 63,000. So if I just make 6 sales in a year, I'm all right. And I just think that's crazy to think about. Oh, you know what? Did it? Yeah, it worked. What the hell is going on here? There we go. Yeah, so 6 sales next year and I'll make $63,000. 6 sales. And again, it's because of the recurring that works. If I up this to $10,000, 6 sales next year puts me at almost 100 grand, 93,000. That's crazy, dude. 6 sales for a full year, and I'm at almost 100 grand. If I do 12 sales next year, 186 grand. So if we go back to the 8 sales, this is nuts, dude. Saying this out loud is crazy. If I just get 8 sales, what was it, 6? Was it 5? Hold on. We'll just go 6. 6 sales a month next year for a total of 72. Puts me at 1.1 million. That's crazy, dude. Oh, that's crazy. That's just crazy. I don't know what to say to that. That's just so much, bro. That's insane. So, anyway, I just need to get to the point where I can sell this motherfucker. After that, it's going to be a different game that I'm playing. Right now, I feel like I'm in ultra grind mode, trying to build everything out. My mind is scrambled eggs every day because I'm just thinking about logic and formulation and funnels and flow and workflow systems, how somebody can work. If they're going to want this button here, are they going to want it here? Are they going to get annoyed because this is over here and not over there? Is the date confusing? There's too much going on. Is it too squished? Is it not squished enough? Can I put more in here to get more? How can I improve the UI? What's the colors going to look like? What's the UI going to look like? Do I even have a brand name? I have no fucking idea. After all that's done, it's just going to be a different game of, I got to sell this. It's going to be about sales. It's going to be about marketing. It's going to be about referrals. It's going to be about nurturing the current clients that I had. It's just going to be a different game. And I just have to push to get to that as soon as I can. And we'll get there, because as far as I'm aware, there's no mastermind or coaching group for people, for coaches there's no mastermind or group for people who are doing metrics only and data analytics and systems and operations only. Like that, it's a weird thing. And I hope there never is, because this is, at least for what I can see, this is a great opportunity. Even when I Google shit, I can't find anything close to what I'm doing. And I get nervous every time I look, because I'm like, I hope I don't find anything. I do find stuff for gyms, but when I look at it, I'm like, that is such basic level shit. It's like, how many people signed up this month? What's the total revenue? How many people got in a workout? And I'm like, I mean, great, bro. What's the onboarding process look like? What's their LTV if their process was shit versus if it was really good? How does that compare? Long term, is it the onboarding process that makes a difference, or is it the person who closed them? Compare all that's what I'm about. And shit, even just saying that, you need to write that down. But yeah, I also don't want to outsource the building of any of this, because I know exactly how to do it. I don't want anybody else. I just want to be able to know how things work. And so I want to build them. I don't want to hire somebody to build these things for me. And for one, probably wouldn't build it the way that I want. I don't want to sound like an arrogant piece of shit. I'm not saying that I know everything about Notion, but like this shit that I'm building for sure is just not covered in basic Notion shit. I'll get emails, and it's called Notion Kits, and it just kind of runs down like how to do this, how to do that. Half the shit is just task management databases and stuff, like changing a status from in progress to complete, or from not started to beginning, and then automating it so that when I click done, it sends a notification to Steve. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to build some shit here. You know, I'm not trying to just dick off, play tic-tac-toe and make an Excel. I don't know, dude. And so, I don't know. There's probably still so much I don't know about Notion, but I would say that what I'm trying to build, I don't know. I just got a good system down. I know how to calculate certain things now. It makes more sense. And I just feel like I need to know this product inside and out. If I'm going to be selling this motherfucker for 10 grand and somebody needs help, I can't be like, not sure. Let me get my guy. I don't want to, no. Like, I want to know this inside and out. I want to know what things happen and where. I want to know the logic. And I want to know if one thing works one way, the likelihood of another thing working that same way is very high because I built it that way. And so, you know, like I said before, I'll go down the rabbit hole trying to figure out something because it's wrong. And I go so deep in the rabbit hole that I find out that it's actually correct and that I did account for the 35 million variables. And this is a correct answer given the circumstances of or given the context or the parameters or whatever of the data. So I want to build this myself. And I don't know. Fuck, dude, one sale at 10 grand a month, it changes everything. That's just insane, bro. Oh, also, I got a call from Brian. Yep, today. And he called me. And can I play it through here? I don't know. It was 2 minutes long. Pretty much what happened was he called me and he said, hey man, what's up? How you doing? I said, good. And he says, how's everything? I was like, oh, it's great. And I like how he opened with that, whether or not it's horseshit or not. Just a big fan that he opened with that rather than, hey man, we need this built. Cool. I just love that. So huge fan, huge kudos to him for doing that. But also he doesn't know shit about me because he says, how's the wife? How's the kids? How's the dog? Or maybe that's just what he said to just cover all bases. I don't know. But we talked for a sec. He said, who are you working for? I said, these people. He said, cool, you want more work? And I said, dude, yes, but I can't. My hours are capped, bro. He says, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm like pulling 12 to 16-hour days. 16 hours is very, very rare. I wouldn't say that happens, but 12 for sure. 12 is what I'm doing right now. Speaking of which, when I calculated the hours of work, there's an episode titled 65-hour work weeks. That's of paid work. If you incorporate what I'm doing in my own time, then that puts it at 85 and a half. And I say that with a little bit of a pound on my chest because I think that shit's cool. Which episode was it? Most helpful lesson. This one? Which episode was it that I talked about this shit? Podcast. $65. 6:57. Reworking my calendar, 65-hour work weeks, clumping hours in calls. So, where is the summary? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the 65 hours is let's just pull up my calendar for fuck's sake. So it's from 19 with Mina per week. It's from 14 from Dawson. So right there, that's a total of 33. And then you add in Trey's 10, it's 43. And then you add in so it's 20 hours from Brian, so that's 63. And then I've got the wrong thing pulled up. Hold on, where is it? Right here. Here we go. So I've got 19 with Mina, 14 with Dawson, 10 with Trey, 20 with PT Dom. So if you add those together, that's 63. Then you add in 20 and a half of my own shit. That's just me waking up at 5:30, working till 8 on my own. That's 20 hours. So it's 63-hour work weeks paid, and then 20 hours on top of that on my own shit. So total is
83 and a half. So right now I'm working 83 and a half work weeks, and I just don't want that to come off as the way that I think people might take it. I'm not saying that to flex necessarily. I do think it's badass, because the way that I see that is like, it puts me in such a small percentage of people, and I'd like to believe that those are my people. And so to believe that I am what it sounds so fucking arrogant, dude, but just to be able to confidently say that I do work at least 80 hours a week, I just like to be able to say that. Well, that sounded weird. I like to be able. Why does that sound so dumb? I like being able to say that and know that it's true, because I just, in my eyes, I just can't see myself working just 40 hours and then gaming. I would just feel so guilty, just so lazy, so sloppy with everything, because it's like, I have energy, I have time, I have goals. Clearly they're not important enough to me, because I'd rather play Minecraft. Now, I would rather play Minecraft, but I'm not gonna, because I want to achieve some cool shit. But just even the thought alone of just working, and this is me talking about me, everybody else can do what they want to do, but for me, being me, it just would be hard now to work just 40 hours and then spend the other 43 and a half that I'm working as well, doing everything but what I'm doing now. Like, what would I do? Like, this isn't me being sad, but like, I got no homies. Who am I going to like, go drink with or hang with or whatever? Like, I don't have that. And I don't necessarily want that unless kind of like we're on the same page. So that makes finding friends a little bit more difficult, because I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Neither here nor there as well. You know, I would go to the gym for sure, but as far as quote hobbies go, I don't really got any. I would rather continue what I'm doing now because I enjoy it so much, and there's quite an opportunity in front of me, and I can take advantage of it, and that's fun for me. And so I'm quote working quote 83 and a half hours per week, but it is so enjoyable for me. I mean, especially with this damn alarm clock now, like I'm working within 2 minutes of waking up. And honestly, like the first, 5-10 minutes, they're kind of like, fuck is going on, But, yeah. A thought that just overcame me is that I'm going to be looking back on these years and being very grateful that I put in the work to build the thing and get to that point. And I know that I'm going to reminisce about the times where I'd wake up at 5:30 and work essentially all day, working for 4 people, trying to sell this thing, trying to get it to market, recording a podcast, trying to maintain the gym. Bought my first cool car. Final months of living by myself. I'm definitely going to reminisce about this and miss these days in the future, 100%. With that frame of mind, dude, it makes me so much more appreciative and grateful of what's around me right now. Because I officially started packing today. It was actually one I wanted to start the show off with, but it didn't happen. Started packing today very lightly. I mean, I got one box and I just emptied out the bullshit closet in my house. So there's just a whole bunch of shit that I never ever need. It's in the closet. I mean, there's a few things. There's holiday stuff in there. There's some boxes that are full of other stuff that I haven't even opened since I moved here. And so I kind of just went through everything. I got a little donation box going, got a trash bin going. And I'm just going through everything, just kind of removing all emotional ties to things. There's a few things that I've had forever, and I'm like, why do I have this? And then my next thought is, well, I've had this forever, and it's special because it's my first. It's like a 4x4 Rubik's Cube. It's the first one that I ever bought. But I'm like, it's so clunky, or the 5x5. I'm like, it's so clunky. It doesn't even turn. You can't even use it. I bought a speed cube for a 5x5. That's much better. I haven't even seen this thing in a year because it's been tucked away. So clearly it's not that important to me. It just seeing it, I just get memories. So like, I'm just going to toss it. And so I did. It's in a donation bin. So maybe some kid can find it and play with it like I did. But yeah, so I started packing, got a box full of stuff, and it's one box probably of 20, 30, I don't know. Because I've now accumulated more things, and it's going to make moving much more difficult than just packing up my Mazda full of boxes and moving. Because when I moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, no, 5 of those times I was in my car. And so I had to move all of my items that I own in my car, a 2017 Mazda 6. All of what I owned fit in my car. Now, I packed it pretty tight, but that's how much I owned. Now that I've got more stuff, and especially now that I have bulky items, I got a whiteboard, got a couple shelves, got a desk, got 2 computer chairs, got a bed frame. I got 2 desks. It's just going to be different. And so, yeah, I'm going to need more boxes and shit. But anyway, yeah, I started packing. It's cool. Very excited. I'm also just really trying to take in that this is the last time this is the last time I'll ever live by myself. And I wanted to live by myself so bad. Finally did it 4 years ago. And I've been by myself ever since, with the exception of living with family for a year last year. And, yeah, I remember that something was going on. I was going to move. Where was I going to move? I was either going to get roommates or I can't remember what I was going to do. But it was a very smart choice financially, but I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I want to have my own spot, and I'm glad that I did, because it really got that out of me to have my own spot and do my own thing. And so, on to the next chapter, right? So I'm feeling cool with it. I think, like I said, 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have been like, I'm not ready yet, but I'm ready. I'm for sure ready. I think this is a great thing. I'm very excited. So packing has begun. We got about 45 days left. Actually, 45 days left on the dot until things align for us to move in. So I got to unblock the fucking calendar app on my phone. It's blocked right now. I can't use the calendar app. What was I going to look at? Yeah, what episode is it today? 663. So, what would that be? 45 days. So episode 710? 708? Episode 708 is going to be the new house day. New house episode or something. But yeah, everything's good. Everything's great, actually. It's just I got to be more intentional with how I allocate the working hours. No, that's not what I meant. I got to be more intentional with how I execute on the hours that I have. Because I know what I need to do. It's just about keeping organized and building everything, because it's so easy to get lost, when I'm creating everything. So easy, because, I make one thing, make another thing. Got to make 2 things because of this one thing. Got to make 4 things because of these other 2 things. Got to incorporate and make a formula that shows both sides, whatever. And then by the time you know it, it's just a whole different beast. I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I'm confused, and then I have to stop and move on to the next project, and then I have to come back, and then I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. But whatever, dude. It's all gravy. It's all gravy. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Grateful for everything that's in my life right now, because this is some cool shit. Also, I just want to say that I was looking at homes to buy, just seeing the price and getting a very, very average cost of what rent would look like. And so I just ran everything, absolutely average, basic, everything. I think it was like a 6.7% 30-year mortgage. And then I just made a little Excel thing on the price for a $250,000 home, $500,000,
750 million, 1.2, 1.5, 1.7, 2 point, all the way up to 20. And I don't even know where that file went, but it was something like I think it was what was it? I think a $5 million home was $31,000 in a month. Something like that. It was like $31,680, I think it was. And where my mind immediately went was like, okay, so I could absolutely afford that if I'm doing 6 sales a month? What the fuck did we decide? Where's it at? Let's pull it up and get the right numbers. 6 sales a month, 10 grand with the recurring. I could absolutely afford that because $30,000 a month times 12 is $360,000 a year on a home. And if I'm making 1.1 million, if you tax that and say I get 700,000, I still have 350 ish, pretty much half. So 350 remaining for everything else. Now, the only reason why I did that was so I could look at what I would get for $5 million. And to be honest, here in Utah, I was kind of disappointed. Now, I don't know if I would buy that home here, but just kind of disappointed. I just feel like $5 million home is fucking big ass home or nice ass home. And what I was seeing for sale, I was like, that's $5 million. And it's just kind of disappointing. So I say these numbers and I know that they're bigger and I have no business talking about them, but I fully believe I'll get there 100%. And so I just was kind of exploring what could be possible in the next 3 years. I feel like it's more likely to be 5, but what's likely in the next 3 to 5 years, by the time I'm 32, 33, it's just, it's kind of cool. Not to mention, if I got a car, a Lambo, and let's just say it was an Aventador SVJ, it's $1 million. That $1 million is nothing compared to a $5 million home. It's 500% more expensive. But anyway, I think I'm done. Remember when these are supposed to be 30 seconds, 2 minute long, so you can listen to 1 to 2 months of my life in an hour? Yep, me neither. All right, that's the show. Love you guys. Peace.